So Skillerz is truly honored to welcome Ms. Riham Qazi to this forum. And I would like to introduce Riham Qazi as the granddaughter of Qazi Hussain Ahmed. It's mashallah a very big legacy that Riham has to her credit. And it's an honor that her mother, Dr. Samia Rahil Qazi Seljuki, is also present on this forum. So Riham is a young debater herself. She has had the opportunity to go to many forums of MAN and different international debating forums. And she's going to teach us the art of debate today. So Riham, the forum is all yours. Is your presentation ready? Would you like to screen share yourself?
Yeah. Please, you can give me permission to share?
Yeah, it's enabled.
Okay. So, can you see that?
Yes, we can see the screen share.
Yeah, okay.
We can see the screen. Please go ahead.
All right. Okay, so as Aisha Baji introduced you guys, I am Riham Qazi, and I am not a very special person as she mentioned, but I'm glad that she thinks I was able to deliver some of my thoughts to you guys. I have been in training since childhood. I was lucky to be born in such a family with such high values and everything. So I was seeing my grandfather and everybody from a very early stage, and the way they portrayed that aspect of life for me. So today I have a presentation for you guys. It was basically for teenagers. Initially, I designed it for the age group of around 10 to 20 because my mom was like, you should be doing something for that age. But later on, as I got to know that there are a lot of other people who are more skilled, and here I am, and let's hope you guys like it. So first of all, I want to tell you guys that how I got into debating. So I was about 7 or 8 years old, and there was a debating competition at my school, and I just went to my grandfather and I was like, I want to speak like you. So he helped me with my first debate ever, and the points that he told me still go with me everywhere I go. And so some of those things I'll be sharing with you, and some of those things I have another presentation, I'll share it on the group with you guys. So first of all, why is debate necessary? So there are a lot of things that constitute a debate, and even if you look at your normal life, you need that skill, just not for the sake of a competition. That skill is needed in the basic everyday of your life. Some of those things are like, can you hear me guys? Aisha, if you can just...
Yes, I can hear you, but please everybody keep your mics on mute because somebody's mic is on mute.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, please carry on now.
Is it not?
Riham, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Please carry on.
Okay. Just give me 1 second. There's some problem with screen sharing. Okay. So I was telling you guys about why is debating necessary. So debate, the most basic thing the debate does it that it creates the leadership skills in a person. The leadership skills that are needed for your everyday matters and how you conduct your family life, how you conduct your arguments and everything. Then comes the aspect of a competition. So debate helps you gain some very different sort of research. When you go into research, you come across so many different things that you would never go through if you are not going through the process of a debate. Then a debate, it's like, it boosts your confidence so much that you are able to control all of the things in your life. Secondly, it provides an learner-centered activity. As you can see in my presentation, I have some pointers, and the debates are like
It's okay. Are you facing any problem with the next slide?
One second, if you can just give me one second.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, sorry guys, there was some glitch in my presentation. So what I wanted to tell you guys was why I got into debating and how it helped me. So the way it changed my childhood and everything, it gave me a lot of confidence, a lot of poise. I learned a lot from it. I had great mentors along the way helping me, along with my family. So most people don't have that opportunity. So you guys need to just take some of these pointers, and if you have young children, if you have young sisters and brothers, and anybody you know, you guys need to like instill these things in them, because in our daily life there are a lot of problems which we face and we can't face them with confidence. That's only because we are not able to we are not taught how to present ourselves or how to do things in a certain way. So debate brings a lot of structure in you, and like if you know the rules and everything, it brings a lot of confidence in you. It provides great experiences. You can develop a convincing argument against like anybody. So where's the next one? What improves rigorous high-order. Okay, so the debate skills, as I was telling you, they are essential for public life. And I learned this thing quite early, that when the first universities were getting established, the three things which were basis of all the education, they were thinking about three things. The basic three things were grammar, logic, and rhetoric. So the most important thing of these three things is rhetoric. We should know how to speak generally, and how to write, or reading is instilled in us since childhood. So these things are really important for a basic life. This is a basic life skill. This is not just for debates. You need these things for a basic good general knowledge of your life. So the debating skills particularly help me in providing experiences in developing a convincing argument. Those of you who are forced to argue against your natural point of view realize that arguments, like coins, always have two sides. So if you have an excellent way of speaking and making yourself heard, the other person will know that you have a good argument. So next thing I wanted to tell you guys about was how to write a speech. And this is not a hard and fast rule. This is all because I am a self-learner and I just came across these things since childhood, and I'm not very old. I should mention that I am quite young, but I have 2 children. And I have a lot of experience with them as well, because I have to argue with them like in a whole another way. So all of these things came together to help me in these things that I am presenting to you guys. So about writing a good speech, there are generally 3 to 4 steps. The first step is, how do you introduce yourself? You have to explain yourself, that where you come from and what made you in that position, or just a general idea about the debate. Why are you going to present that debate? And you have to just like summarize your case in the introduction. Like, what are you going to talk about? If you have other team members on your debate team, then you can say that what the other team members will be talking about. And that's how you write your speech. That's how you write the intro to your speech. So the next step is, how do you build your case? So building the case is a very important step in between your speech. So you have to be very particular about the examples, statistics, and you can add some quotes if you think that they are deemed necessary at that point. So the case normally consists of quite a few things. They have like, you can, I have another slide on that. I'll come back to you guys for that. So the third step is about rebuttal. Rebuttal is not always required. If you don't know what the other person will be rebutting you about, you have to write it on the spot. There are some types of debates. There are a lot of types of debates all over the world, and I have been a part of MUNs and parliamentary debates and general declamations that are held in Pakistan. So, but there are quite a lot types of debates, and if you get into that, it's a whole another like present. I will need a whole another hour for that presentation. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. The rebuttal is just required. Basically, you have to rebut what the opposite team is telling you guys. You have to rebut on the base of worked examples, not just like, you can't just go out there and say that he or she is wrong. You have to have a watertight case for that. So rebuttal generally consists of, you can base your rebuttal on 3 basic points, which I learned from my time in debating, that arguments can always be factually, morally, or logically flawed. So you can just pick what the other team was arguing about, and you can pinpoint the fact that they are not factual or not moral or not logical, and you can base your rebuttal on that. But it should be watertight. That is my emphasis. So the next stage of your this is also helpful in writing speech. It consists of aspects of arguments. You can base your arguments on political, economical, social, moral, practical, regional, or international aspects. You can base your whole debate on, you can combine all of these things and you can build your case on that. You can write a good speech if you just include these aspects, some of these aspects, not all of them. So this is the main thing. You know, I still get jitters. Nervousness is just something that is considered very, people don't usually discuss this topic because people think that people like to portray that they're very confident, they've never overcame these things, and they never had to overcome these things, and they just never got nervous. Or I just totally think that is wrong. Anybody who debates knows that nervousness is just a part of your presentation or debate or whatever. So the first time I actually, when I was a child, I did not have that problem. So the first time I came across that problem was in a very high level. I was at a very prestigious institution and I just got the jitters of my life and I just froze on stage. So that was quite embarrassing for me also, but I just covered it up, and people were good enough that they just overcame that fact that I had that frozen stage. So what happened was that the whole body, I was a student of medical also, so I know this thing, that your body just goes in a state of shock when you are just not concentrating on yourself or what you're going to speak, or you're just letting your hormones take over yourself. So you have to just think and get some of your things that are calming, and these things can make you calm. There are some of the topics, some pointers that I can show you that help me overcome my nervousness. And I will also mention that I am still nervous because I am doing a presentation after like 5 years, and in between I had kids and everything, and I had very little time to practice, and I haven't slept in like the last 36 hours. So I'm really sorry if you guys think that this is not going very well, but just bear with me, it will be over soon. So nervousness, my grandfather gave me a tip that when you feel nervous, you just channel that energy into enthusiasm. You just don't let that negative feeling drown you or sink you, or even if you think for a moment that you are going down, just pick yourself up from the rubble and just give everything you can. The first thing you taught me was that you can raise your voice, but that is just essential in some sort of debates. Not all of the debates require a loud voice. I will be talking about that also. So you can transform your nervous energy into enthusiasm. You can practice, and practice is key, as you can if you have given a debate, or anybody who has any experience, they can assure me that if they have practiced beforehand, they did not have any problem with it. But if you did not practice it, then obviously you will get some of the problems. So you need to practice it like day and night. When you are going to give a presentation, or any like if you are going to a debate or something, you need to record yourself on a phone. You need to give the material to somebody who can check it for you. You need to speak to somebody who can guide you through that. You need to talk to everyone who can help you in that matter, and you need to practice a lot. Second thing, if you are becoming nervous on the spot, you just think that I am going to get through this, and this is not the end of the world. And sometimes this thought helps me, and my husband taught me that you just have to think that what is this thing going to affect? How is this going to affect me in the next 1 year? And you see, it is not going to affect you after the next 5 minutes, so it's just not a problem at all. Secondly, you need to visualize positive things. If you are getting drowned in your nervousness, just think there are good things around you and you can do it. You have done it, and then you will be able to do it. Thirdly, deep breaths are very important. Anybody who does yoga or anything, they know that taking deep breaths, they just give you an inner strength. And those people can feel it. I have been a student of yoga for the past 3 years, so I have a lot of exercises that can help you guys. If you are interested, I can share that also. So, smile. Smiling is really important, because when you smile, the other person also feels comfortable and they know that you are under control. So from the medical aspect, smiling releases endorphins, and if you are getting anxious and you can't just overcome your anxiousness, those endorphins will help you with that anxiety. And you can also always eat chocolates for that also. So after that, exercise. I always exercised when I was going to debates. I had to run like for 5-10 minutes before my debate. I used to jump up and down and work myself so that I won't be there won't be any time for me to think about anything else. I'll be so worked up. So another thing you can do is when you are debating, not all types of debates require this thing, but some of those, some debates like declamations and some of other debates, they require pauses. If you are delivering your speech in a monotone, the audience will get bored and they won't be paying attention to you. So you need to work on your tone and your pauses also. The next step is very important, and it helped me a lot when I was like giving giving a presentation in the MUNs or just giving a presentation in my classroom. The power stance. Power stance is something that you create for a general person. Every person has a different power stance. You just stand, and the one I use is you just stand and just don't put your feet too close and just bring your chest out and be like, okay, I can do this. And the last step that I think is very important, don't let your mouth run dry, because it can cause nervousness also. You need to have a bottle of water or anything, and you need to be sipping it the whole time. If you have time, that is, just you can do it like that, have some water before. Have some water before you are going for a debate, and if you can in between, and you just have to sip it, and you trust me, you will see the differences. And I will have a sip of water myself right now. So the next thing is very good. Some of the do's and don'ts of debating that I learned through my time. So the first one is style. Style is a manner in which you communicate your arguments. This is the most basic part of debating to master. Content and strategy are worth very little unless you deliver your material in a confident and persuasive way. The second thing is speed. It is vital to talk at a pace which is fast enough to sound intelligent and allow you time to say what you really want, but slow enough to be easily understood. You don't have to be like super fast or super slow. I know some people who use that thing, but it's not like it's just not in the culture anymore of debating. So the third thing is tone. Varying tone is what makes you sound interesting. And listening to one tone for an entire presentation is very boring. So you need to keep your voice up and down. Don't be in a monotone. Just be like different tones. When you practice it, you need to have different tones in it. Fourth point is volume. Speaking quite loudly is sometimes a necessity, like in the declamations, but by no means it is necessary to shout through every debate, regardless of the context. You need to just have, see which parts need that emphasis of increasing your volume, and then all the other things can be in a monotone, not in a monotone, like in a lower voice. So there is absolutely no need to speak any more loudly than the volume at which everyone in the room can comfortably hear you. Shouting does not win debates. I must put emphasis on this because a lot of people think that it does. Speaking too quiet is clearly disastrous since no one will be able to hear you. Clarity. The ability to concisely and clearly express complex issues is what debating is all about. The main reason people begin to sound unclear is usually because they lose the stream of thought, which is keeping them going. It is also important to keep it simple. Your content should be really simple. While long words may make you sound interesting or clever, but they are not required. Use of notes and eye contact is very important. Notes are essential because like if you become nervous or you forget something, so your notes should be there. They are essential, but they must be very brief. Like one of my tips is that I keep flashcards, or I just have something like going on with me. Flashcards are really important. They should be there with you. And you have to be organized and very effective in that matter. There is absolutely no point in trying to speak without notes. Of course, notes should never become obtrusive and damage your contact with the audience. You need to have an eye contact with them. but you need to keep them with you on your board or wherever you are going to debate. Most people sketch out the main headings of their speech and brief undernotes under each point you are going to speak about. So that helps me, it used to help me. I'm not in the debating sector anymore, but I do like to train some of the kids who are interested in that field. I have had a workshop last year in PC Bourbon where there were around 80 students, and we held a workshop on NUNs and it went quite well. So, but I hope that all of you guys had something to learn from this. I'm sure a lot of you know a lot already, and but I was happy to share my thoughts with you guys. So this is a piece of poetry my grandfather shared with me when I got my first mobile phone. He sent this thing to me in Urdu Roman, if you guys know. So I was very young at that time and I did not know how to read it, and it's just recent that I found the text message again in that phone, and I was quite touched because he's not here with us in this world anymore. So this शेर is that नामी कोई बगैर मुशक्कत नहीं हुआ, 100 बार जब अकीक कटा तब नहीं हुआ. It means that you have to work hard. You can't just get up one day and be like, I will be everything. You can't just do that. And I needed this in a time of my life when I was very down, and I hope it helps some of you guys as well.
So anybody from the participants would like to add something, would like to comment, would like to ask a question, they're most welcome to unmute themselves and go ahead. And I would just like to say that it is our duty to prepare and encourage our youth. And Riham over here is representing the youth. Pehle bhi baat hui, someone said that how do we enhance the critical thinking skills? How do we allow the youth to innovate? Skillerz International is inshallah going to be a platform that will allow space for youth. We don't want to take all the programs in our own hands. We want youth to come up and we want youth to present. And that is what we are planning to do. So Riham, we want to be seeing more of you over here and elsewhere
inshallah,
as well.
Hopefully so.
Yes. Anybody with comments? Anybody with questions? Anybody wants to add on?
I have a question. Assalamu alaikum.
Sure, please go ahead.
Yes, I am Saima Khurram.
Welcome, Saima.
Yes, Riham, I would like to ask that all the points that you told about the debate, this is all about related to public debate or any type of debate?
As I told you that there are many types of debates. These particular things can be used in MUN, Model United Nations, that is declamations and parliamentary debates. These three types of debates are the most common ones that are used internationally. And in Pakistan, only these three types are available right now. So you can use these points in declamation, parliamentary and MUNs.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, Iman, go ahead.
We're living in a very globally connected world, and it's 2020, and almost everything is online. And I have noticed something, because I use Twitter very actively and I use it in a very light manner. And I've noticed that there's a lot of youth aged between 15 to like, let's say 19 on that app. And they're very, let's say, for someone that's grown up and tolerant enough, like age between 21 to like beyond that age, if they like, we do have some grip over some philosophies and ideologies and knowledge about stuff. So when we like throw a tweet out there or say something, it's kind of not tolerated by this youth much, and they come back with a lot of backlash without any space for for a healthy argument, and they start calling names and slurs, and there's like no understanding. To some extent, I've understood that these are mostly people that are categorized as pseudo-liberals, or let's just say they try to accept that they're leftist or liberals, but they're mostly just conservatives and they don't understand the concept. So how, like, usually if I am to give a very non-problematic tweet out there, I still get backlash over it. A lot of people do, and like a lot of people get mental health issues because of that and delete the apps and not interact at all. So is there a way how, personally I ignore them, but is there a way how we can help these kids, because they're all aged between teenagers and they don't listen at all?
Yeah, you are right. Well, what I think is that I personally don't use any social media because of this, because the culture of trolling is very problematic right now, and it's affecting our kids a lot. But if you want yourself to make heard, you have to just write something that like you have to for them. But most importantly, you have to ignore. You have to like just let it go.
Exactly, that's there.
Because you can't do anything about it. Whatever you do, the backlash will be there for you.
Exactly, I don't mind the backlash, but the whole point is that all these kids aged 15 to that's exactly what I've noticed. They're like 15 or 13 to, that's exactly the age gap, like the age limit. And they're so they're just, even if you give them valid reasons, they just don't listen to them. And they have these ideologies. They go behind misandry and they label themselves a feminist, and if someone is supposed to educate them that these certain things don't go with these ideologies,
you know what,
they start calling
the problem is with the teenagers. I'm sure you would know that yourself, because they're very stubborn, and it's not their fault. They're built that way. So you have to just hope for the best that they grow out of that phase, or you have to like all you can do is just guide them. And one thing I have learned from my mom is that she kept nagging one thing, even if I were to listen or not, because I was a very stubborn teenager myself, and she would just keep on repeating that thing. And you know what, now that I look back, I hear those things in my mind all the time, and I have made all of those things right that were wrong at that time. So you just have to keep telling them that what is right and what is wrong, and they will find it out on their own time. You don't have to force them into anything. Because that will not work at all.
Exactly. One thing I would like to add to this is, and anybody from the audience is most welcome to add on to, that we need to build a relationship with these teenagers. Yeah. Yes, they have a different stance. Yes, they have their own problems, and there are many, but we can never help them solve their problems until and unless we build a connection with them. So for building that connection, because you think you know, and you think that they don't know. That's our assumption, right? And that's our perception. They think the same way as well. So we need to make the more efforts. We need to go out of our way. We need to connect with them. We need to hear them out. We need to ignore whatever they're saying. If somebody is ready to do that with an open heart, that is the only way of connecting with them. Otherwise, the moment you say something that is against their wishes, that is against their own conceptions, then you're going to just lose them.
Yeah.
Yes,
I want to add another point here.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, for dealing teenager, I'm handling, mashallah, two teenagers. One is 14 years old and the other is 12 years old. Mashallah. She's going to be 13, inshallah, in December. They both are, mashallah, very much towards debating scene. They, on every aspect, they debate a lot with me. Now, I was in a trouble few months back that what to do. They are ready for every argument. They want everything they want. And for me, as a mother, it was very difficult to handle them. And I used to pray and I used to make dua. Allah Ta'ala, please bless me the strength to handle these two brilliant Muslims which you have given in my hand. Then I just figured out, I started hugging and giving love to my kids by respecting them, by honoring them, and by making them realize that, look son, look daughter, by taking their names, I am your mother and I am your best friend. By interacting on those lines, now I felt that their debating or their argumenting point, what they were talking about, they used to consider, yes, we need to take this as a respectful manner. So I feel it's very important to deal the youth with respect and kindness.
Yes, you are
That
quite
is so
right about
important.
that.
You've raised
Yeah.
very important points.
I would like to add something actually.
Please go ahead.
About, three of you ladies were talking about. I like Ms. Asha said rightly that we cannot leave them alone. I believe in one thing, that if I have something in myself which is good, I should trust myself that yes, I can change with my good habit someone's bad habit. And second thing, I would suggest, for example, now Riham is presenting the debate. What we can do in our society, that we can go to schools. I personally go to schools for educate kids, and universities even I go for the personality development lectures and these things. Even I can tell you that I have an experience that when I was during my presentation workshop, one of the kid was calling on my mobile from where, I don't know from where he got numbers, but secretly he was calling my number. So I found out, and then I educated him. And since that day, it's almost 6-7 years old, but until today, whenever he sees me, he respects me. So what we can do is we can go to different schools, like Riham is there, Ms. Asha is there, and now we have so many audiences over there. They can go to different schools. They can tell them, they can present the art of debate. For me, I just would like to add one more thing over here for the purpose of the audience. That debate is not only for the competition or parliamentary procedure and these things. Debate is another way of telling the others your thing in the better manner that they can understand it. So once you will go to the schools and educate them that this is the purpose of debate. If you have a difference with someone else, you need to debate. There is a difference between argument and negotiation. So we need to teach them the negotiation skills instead of argument skills.
You are right. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. And thank you very much for this input. Anybody else from the audience would like to give their input? And it is very important to build bonds. It is very important to connect. No matter if the teenagers or the children, they are your own, or they are our youth, or they are our nation, or the Ummah, or the global community, we need to connect. There can be no Islah, let's say, without good connections, without building bonds. We cannot expect anybody to listen to us until and unless we make connections with them. And one of the reasons, one of the missions that Skillerz International has in mind is this, that we all spread this positivity and this khair that we are compiling on this platform. And we all have so much to add on to it. And you're all most welcome to add on to it and spread it as per your liking. So we've just looked at one aspect of debate, and we'll be looking at more aspects, inshallah. And this is all for our own personal development first and foremost, and then for spreading to as much as possible. So Riham, you would like to give any closing comments, and then we'll move on to our next section, or anybody else wants to ask a question? I see a mic unmuted. Yes, please go ahead and ask.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Dr. Faisal from Bahrain. Ma'am, I see a few questions from the chat, and I think they're very important. So if you can just pull up the chat and answer.
Okay, if you would like to go ahead and answer any one of them, you're most welcome.
I'm asking about, can you emphasize more about the PowerStance, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So PowerStance is basically how you stand and represent yourself. It just involves relaxation of your upper body, and you have to stand with your legs quite a bit apart, and you have to portray yourself like you're quite confident. When you use that stance, the confidentiality will come naturally to you. That's what I have learned from my experience.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, please do.
Doctor, if you are in Bahrain, I'm also in Bahrain. I belong to one of the public speaking club. You can contact me personally, and we can share something with you regarding public speaking, is what you can do.
Please enlighten us as well on this forum.
It's actually public speaking also different.
If you would like to add something to the PowerStance, that would be great.
Well, thank you so much. I hope it doesn't matter to Riham, because I don't like to add, because it's...
No,
not at all. I am a learner myself.
Thank you so much. Before jumping into this one, I would like to tell everybody that if I am telling a point, it doesn't mean that I'm neglecting Riham or her points. Her points are absolutely valid and absolutely agree. And this is one of the best presentations she has given me. I have seen ever from a young lady, to be honest with you.
Thank you so
regarding
much.
Regarding the public speaking, let me jump into it. Well, doctor, if you're listening me, first of all, you have to start within yourself. I will not talk about only stance, but I will talk about in bit details if I have few minutes. Is that okay, Ms. Asha?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. First of all, you have to, like Riham mentioned, the first point, which is practice. I always use this three. I always used to tell, okay, there are three best things in the public speaking or anything, but in public speaking, especially when you are delivering your speeches, practice, practice, practice. Practice your presentation in front of your family and friends. I will tell you that if you want to overcome your nervousness, the best thing to deliver speeches and practice in front of your family and friends. I used to have a lot of nervousness when I used to deliver some speeches or presentations. Whenever my dad used to look at me, I used to forget everything. But I had overcome it. Now, I have experience of delivering speeches in front of more than 1,000 people also. But still, one thing I would like to remind you all that even at whatever stage you are a world champion of public speaking, but once you will go in front of the audience, you will feel nervous. There is no way that you won't feel nervous. Whatever knowledge you're having with yourself, whatever experience you are, but you will feel nervous. As some of the points already mentioned by Riham, I just would like to add that when you are presenting your speech, practice your opening. The first thing, which is the best thing, you have to have the practice upon your opening. If your opening is strong, the confidence what you will get in front of the audience, then you will not forget whatever you have in your mind or in your heart. Second thing, your body of the speech. It doesn't matter that you remember or you memorize the whole speech or whole presentation, but you should know the main points of them. Either you, as Riham told, that you can use notes. I personally don't prefer to use notes. I hate delivering any speech or presentation while looking at my notes or these things. So yesterday one of the presenters was talking about thought process. You have to work on your thought process for your presentation and your speech. When your thoughts are within your speech, trust me, you will have the best platform to deliver. Second thing, practice front of the mirror. When you look into your eyes, the confidence you get within your eyes, you cannot get the confidence anywhere else in the world. Riham was talking about voice modulation, pitch, tone, rate. Voice modulation, how can you improve this one? You have to record your voice. Record it, listen it. Trust me, I've been in public speaking since last 15 years, but still when I record my speech and listen it again, I hate myself. So I try my best to make it more better. Maybe people do not hate, but I myself hate it. So I practice it again and again. The more you practice about it, the more you will learn and the more confidence you will get it. While delivering when you are on stage, utilize stage properly. Set stances, not only one stance. If you are standing and delivering the speech at one place, trust me, it's not going to work because you need to connect with the audience. If you want to connect with the audience, you have to utilize the stage. For example, whenever I go to the stage, I divide my stage in 3 parts: right, center, and left. And I always, before going to the stage, imagine about the stage before going to the stage that, okay, which are the stances you are going to use in front of the audience. That will help you better connecting with the audience, and it will help you to deliver your message better, and audience will take it. One more thing about the public speaking, like over here, we are always learning. I always believe in one thing, that even anybody who stops learning even at the age of 20 is an old, and anybody who keeps learning even at the age of 80 is young. But the greatest thing is to keep your mind and heart always young. So whenever you are going to stage, you need to see that what are the audience in front of you. You need to give the eye contact with each and everyone. This will boost your confidence. Because if you're looking at one person only, I observe myself that if I'm talking to one person in the audience, looking at him, if he moves he or she moves his or her head, I just lost myself. Why? Because I believe I start thinking that maybe whatever I said, it doesn't it doesn't apply to him or her. One more thing I would like to add over here: when you are speaking to the audience, remember to overcome your nervousness, to have self-belief that what you are going to talk about, audience do not know it. This will give you a better confidence. Fact, one more thing which I would like to add: use body language. When you will use body language while delivering the speeches or your presentations, what will happen? Your body language will connect with your words. They say that body speaks more than words. Action speaks more than words. So when you use your body language up to the sentence, what will happen? It will ask the audience to take your message, and they will, it will touch their heart.
Okay, thank you so very much, Rashid Saab. That's very nice of you, and it's very enlightening and insightful. And I can see that Skillerz team, we have everyone who is a trainer. So anybody is most welcome to put in their ideas and thoughts and share them over here on this platform. Thank you very much, Ms. Riham Qazi, for giving us time and for this wonderful presentation. And we hope to see more of you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you so much.
Now,
Thank you so much for inviting me.